AI isn't the future, it is now. Welcome to the From Zero podcast. Today we're talking about a very important topic that's going around in today's social media, which is AI. Some people are excited about AI, others are a bit skeptical. I would even go as far as to say they're a bit afraid of it. So we're going to talk about those topics. Why is it good? Why is it bad? We're also going to talk about how you can use it in your business. I'm in real estate and I'm going to give you a little tip of how to use AI in the real estate industry. So if you guys are real estate agents, make sure you guys watch till the end so I can give you some amazing tips. I'm also going to talk about how you can use it when buying or selling, how buyers can use it to improve the process of buying a house, how to make it more efficient, and how to use AI for marketing to sell your house. So we're going to go over those topics. I don't think AI is a threat. I think it's just a tool. And I think understanding it early gives you an advantage. So who am I? My name is Danae Marquez, and I am the designated broker at Home Pros Advantage. I do a lot of real estate, and I do a lot for our other agents within the company. That is my job. And I love AI. I've used technology since I can remember. I've had a phone, I think, as young as 10, maybe 12 years old. So I love all things technology. I love AI. I like how it makes everything so much more efficient in my life. Unfortunately, my co-host wasn't able to make it today here, so you're stuck with me, but that's okay. I'm gonna give you a quick context on the AI hype, and we're just going to go from there. What are the most popular tools out there for AI? Well, there's a couple, but personally, I like to use apps like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. I don't know if you've heard of Midjourney, DALL-E. Grammarly would even be considered an AI. I know a lot of college students and a lot of middle school students use Grammarly, so that's the type of AI that people use. We're going to talk on the subject of why people love it first, and then we're going to get into the segment of why people dislike it. So one reason why people like AI so much is because it speeds up repetitive tasks that you have to do daily. For example, emails, summarizing documents, even creating grocery lists or meal plans. That's what I use it for. I use it in almost every aspect of my life, especially in the personal life. I use it, again, for emails, text messages. I was recently using it to calculate what I need to do for a body recomp. It gives me all the information. I use it a lot for learning and a lot of knowledge. So, for example, if I'm studying a book on, I was recently reading a law book on Arizona contracts and everything, and there were some things that I didn't understand. So what do? I input that into ChatGPT, and what does it do? It explains everything. I ask it to explain it to me like a kindergartner, and it does exactly that. It explains things step by step, and I better understand it. I also use it when it comes to research. When I do a lot of research on, for example, this topic of AI, I ask it, okay, give me all the stats that I need for this script. Boom. 5 minutes. It gives me where the resource comes from and how I can apply it to this message. Another reason why people like it is because beginners can do professional level work with AI assistance. As of late 2025, 54.6% of adults between the ages of 18 to 64 report using generative AI for work or personal tasks. So I, again, use it for personal tasks, but you can also use it for work to make things easier for you. More than half of the working age in the business have incorporated generative AI into their routines, whether you're learning, problem solving, productivity, or creativity. That's what I use it for. Again, I use it a lot for problem solving too. When I have an issue with, let's say, a contract and I don't understand what's going on, I input it into ChatGPT, I give it the background, and boom, it's all there. So, not only can you use it in your personal life and in business, companies around the world are also using AI. I think it's in almost every business. About 77 to 88% of companies worldwide now use AI for at least one business function in 2025. We all know that Google uses AI. We all know that Apple uses AI. Meta, even Uber, Spotify, you name it, all the industries are using it, even as far as those the government departments. They use their little chatbots to use AI to answer frequently asked questions, and it just makes everything so much easier, saves money, saves time. Another advantage of AI is that every day these tools are getting smarter when it comes to searching, writing help, automation. I remember first using ChatGPT for images, and it would just give me something like I asked for a house and it gives me a tent. It started that way. Now you can ask ChatGPT to create an image of a house. Like, for example, you take a picture of a house, you ask it to animate it. It does exactly what you want it to do in very much detail. And another big thing why people love to use AI is because creators can produce more content in less time. So, for example, we use something called Office Clips. And what that is essentially an app that takes a long form video, for example, this podcast. You take this podcast, you upload it, and what it does is it cuts every single section of the video into clips, into things that you can put as reels. And then it gives you the captions. It gives you your logo. For example, for real estate agents, you have to put your logo when you're talking about everything real estate. So when I cut this video, you're going to see my brokerage name on top, and it gives you B-roll images too. So all of that is created within 2 hours of editing, and that's it. And now you have 20 videos to put on daily. And not only are you going to put that on Instagram, what apps are there? Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, all of those social media platforms. You're just going to ask it to put it on those. It even gives you the title. It gives you the hashtags. So essentially, you don't have to do anything. And right now, our brokerage is using it. I think about 5-6 of us are using this app to create mass amount of content. And now we're putting over hundreds of content daily on all of our social media platforms to put ourselves out there. And it's working. I think recently we had one clip go viral with, again, only, let's say it takes you 40 minutes to record the podcast and then another 2 hours to do all of the editing. And it's not even editing to which you have to go through the whole video, the whole podcast to find a clip that you like. AI does it for you, and it takes no more than 2 hours. It uploads everything for you, so you don't have to be spending time on that app or on your platforms and saying, okay, ChatGPT, come up with a description, then you got to upload the video, post it, wait until it posts, go to the next. It does everything seamlessly for you at the time that you want it to, at the day that you want it to, and it all just flows seamlessly. And so a lot of creators are using it right now. Our brokerage is using it right now. So if you're looking to create more content in less time, this is the one for you. Not only does it save time, it also saves money for businesses. It's an estimated AI-driven automation can lead to between 20 to 40% reductions in operational and labor costs. Because again, you don't have to have someone to do all of this for you. All you have to do is get that clip, upload it. Essentially, that's all you have to do, and it gives you the captions. It gives you the your logos already imprinted on there. It gives you the B-roll, and it posts it for you. So it can't get any easier than that. That's one of the reasons why I love AI so much, is because it's so easy to use. It just takes time, it takes time to learn how to use all of this stuff. 81% of creators say if it wasn't for stuff like this, for apps like this, we wouldn't be able to do it, because I know how difficult it is to put so much content out there, especially in a world where social media is so prominent in today's day and age, that if you don't put yourself out there on social media, it's very hard to put yourself out there unless you already have a database that already knows you. Other than that, if you're starting business from scratch, social media is the way. And what better way to use AI than to use it to benefit your business and save time and money? Another reason why I think AI is so good is because I think it does reduce burnout. Many Gen Z workers are reporting that they have exceptionally high levels of burnout. This is a bit controversial, if you ask me. People think that Gen Z are weak. Do I think that? No, but a lot of people think that Gen Z are a bit weak, and then the other side, where people think like Gen Z is working extremely hard, and so I think AI would be beneficial because it reduces the amount of burnout. Why? Because it eliminates all the repetitive tasks that you have to do every day. Decision fatigue. It avoids the constant doing of the little things, and it just makes everything so much easier for that person. And not just for Gen Z. I think for any person, any age can use AI to help reduce that burnout and help avoid you doing those simple tasks that you have to do every single day. So I have some questions here. What AI tool has helped me the most so far? I use ChatGPT the most. That is the one that I use essentially every day. I'm not gonna lie. I think I panicked a little when it once shut off, and I tried to search something up on ChatGPT and it was just giving me the error. I kind of, for a split second, panicked because I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? I actually have to search it up on Google and everything. And so ChatGPT is the one that I prefer to use the most, both in my personal life and in business. I use it every day. You ask me, even for grocery lists, up to how to automate specific things for my CRM. I use it every single day. I think another one I use is Opus Clips, which is the video one. Gemini is known to be really good. I don't use it that much yet, but I heard it's really good. I also hear that Claude is does really well as well. But for me, I personally use ChatGPT. It's one of my favorite ones. So, after discussing a little bit about the pros, let's talk about why people dislike, and I would even go as far as to say maybe even fear AI. I don't know. So, let's start with the first, which is confusion on how AI works. There's a lot of confusion on how it works. People see it and they aren't familiar with it because it's new. I mean, obviously it was coined in I believe it was 1956 where the idea of artificial intelligence came to be, but it didn't become very prominent until 2020, around those years. So it's very recent, and for people who didn't grow up with technology, it has become very difficult to adapt to because it's something completely different. Well, for Gen Z, I think, and even for the younger generation, Alpha, we know how to use it because, again, we grew up using technology. And so adding AI just felt supernatural. It's like, okay, well, I can adapt to this. For the older generation, it's a little bit more difficult to adapt to it because it's something completely new. You go from having no phones, no TV, to having to getting that flip phone, to getting the iPhone, and even the iPhone seems a little bit iffy. I don't think my grandpa had, I can't remember. I think he only got a cell phone only the last few years, and he doesn't even touch it. Like, he forgets where he puts it because it's just something that he isn't used to. And so it's just there's a lot of confusion on how AI works and how to adapt to it because it's already here. And I think it's really essential for business owners, especially real estate agents, to get acquainted with AI. I mean, there's people that don't like it. Again, then there's good reason for why people don't like it. But as a business owner, I think it's necessary. This younger generation is really pushing on AI and social media. And if you don't have another way of grabbing leads, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow it, at least, again, in my opinion. I love AI, so I'm mostly going to talk good things about it, but I also want to acknowledge that there is some fear and there's some dislike in it. Another one that I've heard is that people think AI might replace humans. I don't know about that one. I don't think AI is going to replace humans. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think AI will replace humans? I think what it does is just replace the tasks of daily things. So, for example, we have you have a job where you create simple logos. Well, that job is now taken by AI. You ask AI, I want this logo of, let's say, a house, make it pink with glitter on top and my name on the bottom. AI does it for you. So I think doesn't necessarily replace humans or their work, but it just replaces tasks. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think that's a little hard for me to answer personally. I've never thought about AI ever replacing humans, but I also hear that AI is growing tremendously and even in some sense portraying some sort of emotion. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's just a very difficult topic for me to elaborate on or understand it. I probably need to do some more research on that because I personally don't think it's going to ever replace humans. Humans are just unique, I guess you could say. And so I don't think it would ever replace humans. But, I don't know. Um, Another reason why people dislike it is because anxiety around tech that feels out of control. Again, AI is growing so much and there's so many little apps that are coming out that it can feel a bit overwhelming to see how much AI is growing and how many businesses are using AI. I know that recently Netflix incorporated AI to, I believe, find the best movies for what you like and seeing what types of movies that you like, and it incorporates AI. I know almost every single business that I currently have bought from or uses AI. So it can get a little nerve-wracking to see how much technology is continuously changing and getting out of control. But again, I think it's something that many of us have to adapt to and get used to it because it's going to continue to grow, and you don't want to get left behind. Another big one here about the dislike of AI is the fear of job replacement. 59% of people ages 18 to 29 think AI could threaten job prospects. Jobs. Um, I've heard that fear before that AI is going to steal jobs, especially I've heard it in the real estate realm where AI is going to take the jobs of real estate agents. People don't believe that real estate agents are needed anymore. I disagree, but I know that there's a fear out there. I think also because of the way that jobs are slowly disappearing in some sense. You have, again, I went over the topic of those who create those simple logos. I mean, you can create that with ChatGPT. Not only is it saving you time and money, you don't have to pay someone else to do it. I know call centers, those people that would answer those frequently asked questions, they're not needed anymore. Why? Because you have that little chatbot in the corner of the website that answers everything through AI. I use it all the time, especially in my business for my CRM. If I have a question, I don't have to call someone to do it. All I have to do is type it in the bot and say like, hey, like I have a question. How do I import this lead? And it's like, it gives you step by step. It gives you pictures. It gives you articles, and you don't even have to ask anyone anymore. And I think it's sometimes even faster because all you have to do is type it. And it prompts it automatically. Whereas when you call someone, like, please press 1 to get a hold of this person. Now press 2 if you want Spanish. Now press this. It's just so time consuming just for them to give you the answer like, oh yeah, you just click add contact. And so it's like, yeah, they're not really needed anymore, if you ask me. Also basic copywriters for simple ads and descriptions, prompt engineers. Those jobs aren't as common anymore, at least the basic ones, because again, you can use ChatGPT to create those descriptions. Let's say you want to create a Google ad. You don't need someone to do it for you. You can ask ChatGPT, hey, give me an image of this, optimize it for this. I want to target this people. And it gives you all of that information, which makes it easier for you to start posting again without needing someone else. Now, those are jobs that I don't think are as common anymore. But I also think that jobs are changing. There's also new jobs that you wouldn't have seen 10, 15 years ago. You have AI tool trainers. I didn't even know that was a thing. Automation specialists, AI content editors. Have you seen those AI, like for houses where you see this big helicopter and they have this big, like kind of like a tarp over the house and they just pulls it off the house. Those are AI content editors. And I think that's super cool. It's unique and it gets a lot of attention on social media. So it's creating new types of jobs. You also have, now that AI is such a big thing, you also have roles that have to do with AI compliance or ethics. I know a lot of those jobs are popping up in industries because you have to make sure, again, that you're using AI responsibly, instead of just using it for every single thing. And yeah, so I don't think AI necessarily replaces jobs. I just think it replaces tasks. It's creating different jobs, and I think it's changing the type of job that you do within the job. I don't know if that makes sense. So like, those content creators, it's not no longer anymore just like recording and shooting that person from here. It's coming up with new ways to market them. So I think in many cases the job is just changing the way that it works. And so I don't believe that AI is replacing jobs. But let me know what you guys think. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Is AI replacing people? Is it replacing jobs? Is it replacing, or is it just replacing tasks? Now, I have a few questions here too. What's the biggest concern you've had about AI? Other ones include, I think, bias. I've seen bias on ChatGPT before, because what ChatGPT does is it takes from your own beliefs and your own, how do you say it, like, it takes your own personality and your tone of voice and what you believe in, and it saves that information. And so when you ask it something controversial, it's going to likely side with you. And so we have to be very careful when it comes to doing research on a specific topic. For example, I don't know what's a popular topic right now. Let's say, I can't think of one right now, but let's say you have a controversial topic right there in the middle. Boom. And then you ask it, okay, is this right? Or am I right on this position because blah, 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 blah. What it's likely going to do is it's going to say, okay, well, yeah, I think you're right because of this. And then you're going to take that information and continue in your own bias. And so it is very important to make sure that when you use ChatGPT, you try to make it as unbiased as possible with the questions that you input it and with the research that you found. Maybe you found some research, you put it in there and you ask it, okay, give me an unbiased opinion. I want the truth. I don't want it to be based off of what I've already told you about me, because what it's going to do, again, it's going to push towards what you want to hear. And so that's a concern that I've seen about AI. Cybersecurity threats, data privacy issues are another big one. And again, job losses. And this question I want to ask to you guys: do you think AI can outcreate humans or just help them? That was a question that I have for you guys. So if you guys are watching the live right now, type in, do you think AI can outcreate humans or just help them? I want to know what you guys think. AI is everywhere. I've even heard of some doctors use AI. So what do you guys think? Is AI too much? If you ask me, I don't think AI replaces humans. I think it just replaces the repetitive work. Now, let's talk about the business impact. In particular, real estate. How can you use AI in real estate? I use it. Again, I'm a real estate broker, and my job is not only to help buyers and sellers and help them improve their buying and selling process and use AI to benefit them, but I also use it to help our agents better perform and help them attract leads and buyers and sellers. So we already know, again, that 77 to 88% of companies worldwide are now using AI. Now, how are businesses like us in real estate using AI? Well, the first one I would say is we're using AI for customer service chatbots on our websites. If you go to our websites, each one of our agents has a website, and what it does is it has a little chatbot on the bottom, so you can ask it basic questions like, "Hey, like I'm looking to buy a house," or "What is the process?" or "What are the steps to buying a house?" Maybe they don't want to talk to someone yet, and maybe they just want to get some basic information first. Well, that chatbot answers the basic information, and from there, you create that connection, and that message that you receive goes to the actual agent's phone, and so they're seeing the conversation there, and then they can reach out. So I So one of the ways that we're using, again, is through customer service. We also use it for sales automation. And again, we're using it for social media. I think that's one of the biggest ways that we're using social media, AI for social media. 86% of creators say they use generative AI in creative workflows. So for me, for example, my process of creating a video is I first spend a day planning out what I'm going to say. So let's say I'm talking about how to purchase a house after college. Let's say that's topic one. Topic two is going to be about how you can use down payment assistance. And topic three is going to be about why the differences between new builds and residential. So you have those three topics. And now I'm like, okay, what am I going to say? Well, I have some basic information about each one of these, right? What I need, I input that into ChatGPT and I ask it, okay, create me a script for these things. I need a hook. That is the main thing that you need for a good video, is a solid hook, and then some points to talk about, and end it with my information. So it starts off, so like for example, ChatGPT says, okay, this is your information. So I have it there and it gives me like, are you looking to buy a house with down payment assistance? This is the program for you. Something like that. You have that information there, and then you save that, and then the next day you go film, and then you take your scripts that you use with ChatGPT, you have them there, you record and everything, and then you go back home. And then what I do is I use a lot of AI to add the captions, to add the B-roll. Another app, if you don't want to use long form like I do, like create long form and then cut it into short pieces, I recommend using what is called captions. That is another great AI app to use, because again, now let's say you just have that short clip of video. So what you're going to do is you're going to import it in that short form video, and it's going to give you captions, it's going to give you B-roll. It even translates to different languages. So let's say you speak Spanish and the video's in Spanish, it's going to give you every single thing that you need in Spanish. The captions are in Spanish. You add your logo, you add the B-roll, and you really don't have to do much. It even does all the editing for you, which is amazing because it saves time, and again, it saves money. You don't have to pay someone to do it for you. Now it all comes down to whether you want to spend more money or you want to spend more time on it, because again, if you don't have enough time to be doing those little editing, well, yeah, send it somewhere else. But if you have time and let's say you're a brand new agent, you need to put yourself out there, well, take some time to invest in this app and start putting your information through. So that's what I use when it comes to short form video that I think a lot of agents can utilize, which is, again, it's called Captions. And I think it's an amazing app to make your videos look amazing. What other information? I also use it for what you call interactive monthly newsletters, which is you ask ChatGPT to create you a clickable newsletter to send to your clients. And so it gives you a whole HTML code. And what you do is you copy that, you paste it into your CRM. We use Bolt Trail, which is one of the best apps out there. You ask it to import it in there. And what it does is it gives you all the events that are happening in Arizona for that month. So in the month of February, we have the waste management, and we have a couple other information. And all I have to do, because I prompted it, if you don't use GPTs for your business, you have to, because all I have to do is literally put the month February, and it gives me all that code that I need, the month, the days in which, and the clickable links to get the website and how to get the tickets for each event. So it's just such an easy way to put yourself out there, especially for agents to put themselves out there in such an easy way. And again, we use it a lot for images too, when we use it to make the images look better and more interactive and pop more. For example, when we're posting about, let's say, the market reports for the week, what's going on in the market. We make a nice little image with all the stats. See, that's the amazing thing about how fast AI is growing, is that before you would put something like that and it would mess up with the numbers, but actually you import that image, you say, put some cactuses around it and put the Arizona sun on top of it, and it does exactly what you want it to, keeping that same information. And it just makes it look more, it looks nicer, it makes it pop more than other information that you find on your feed. Again, we use it for marketing and all of that. So now, moving on from real estate agents of what you can use. Again, if you're a real estate agent, I recommend using captions, Obis clips for social media, ChatGPT and even Gemini for your images and all that stuff. So there you go. There's your information, so you can put yourself out there, start getting your leads, and start growing more. Now, we're going to move on to how buyers and sellers could use AI. Now, ultimately, I think human guidance is more valuable than AI. There's a lot of things that AI can't answer for you or can't do for you. For example, help you see a house, But I think it could help improve the buying process and make it more seamless for you when it comes to purchasing a house. For example, our system, Bold Trail, uses what we call Home Core, which is searching a house using AI, which is faster and more intuitive and can even be hands-free. So what you do is you pull out your phone, you pull out the app, and you ask it, hey, I'm looking, and you can get as specific as you want, which is the beautiful part. So you pull out your phone and you're like, hey, I want a house with white kitchen cabinets, a pool, 3-bed, 2-bath in Phoenix, Arizona. And it's going to pull up all those properties that have those specific things that you asked for. So what makes it different than an actual home search is not only it can be hands-free, but the fact that you can get as specific as you want. So if you're really set on having white kitchen cabinets, it's going to give you, and it's going to pop up those images that you want, or those properties that you want with those white kitchen cabinets. So you can get as specific as you want. And I think it's beautiful because now you don't have to look at every single property and say, oh, this doesn't have what I want. This doesn't have what I want. You want a pool, you want a fireplace, done. It gives you all the properties within our app to tell you, like, hey, this is what you're looking for. There you go. You can even get faster pre-approvals. Why? Because many lenders are using AI to analyze credit, income, and debt. So they help you analyze credit, income, debt to offer same day or even accelerated pre-approvals. You can go as far as to even say you can apply online. That isn't AI. I don't think that's AI. But if you're looking to, like, let's say you're busy and you're like, I don't feel like going to an office and talking to someone, well, you can get pre-approved online, which I think is pretty cool. Because if you ask me, sometimes it's just easier to input my information like bang, 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 instead of finding all the documents and waiting a week to get all those documents, then going in person and then giving it to them and then having to wait another week. It's just bam, you have that information, you input it, seamless as possible. So that's another way that buyers can use AI. Another reason why AI is so great is because you can use it for example, affordability calculations. You can use AI-driven mortgage calculators to simulate monthly payments, factoring in local taxes and insurance automatically. So those are a few ways that buyers can use AI to improve their home buying process. I also think for sellers, I think it ultimately comes to marketing, how the agents are going to market your house. If they're using some cool techniques to market your property, for example, if you've seen those properties where it's daytime, you have a picture, video of the house, and then it transitions to it being nighttime and how it looks at night. Those things catch people's attention. And I think that's the goal when it comes to selling your house. How many eyes can you get to look at your property? And when agents are using all of these cool content stuff and apps to improve the way that you sell your house, I think it's a win-win for everyone, So those are a few ways that you can use AI for not just your business, but if you're buying a house, if you're looking to sell your house, AI is everywhere. And I think people need to learn how to adapt to it, or they're going to get left behind. So if you have any questions, though, I'm always here to help. I love AI. I use all kinds of apps. I've had agents reach out to me because they've seen some AI stuff that we've been doing out there, and I just think it's great. We're always putting classes out there because we love teaching agents, and we love teaching people about all these apps and just showing them what they can do to better improve their businesses, because we're not here to gatekeep. We're here to help. In any way possible. So if you're an agent, or if you're a buyer, or if you're a seller, we're always here to help. But let's end with a few fun questions about AI. I think I already answered this. What is my favorite AI tool? I think my favorite AI tool has to be ChatGPT. That's the one that I use every day. Like, you can't tell me that there's one day that I don't use it. I use it in literally everything. And then obviously all the AI tools that other businesses give me. For example, in my CRM, I use AI through that. But ChatGPT is absolutely my favorite thing. What's one thing AI shouldn't be used for? Well, maybe what's one thing AI shouldn't be used for? I think AI, you just have to be careful. I've about it becoming your therapist. I think in some cases, maybe we use AI a little bit too much, to where we turn to AI when we need help with controlling our emotions or stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't maybe use it for that. But everything else, I use it for meal planning, meal prepping, my grocery list, for text messages, so I can sound more professional when I send the text messages. I use it. The last question was, AI has made me better at what? I think it has made me better when it comes to learning and my productivity. I use AI for learning a lot, because now I don't have to go to a library to get books on certain topics, or I don't have to even search at Google. When you search Google, like, hey, I have a question on this, it sometimes gives you broad information, or it doesn't give you real stats, and you have to just keep scrolling article by article. Whereas you ask ChatGPT to give you the resources and the information about the topic, and it just summarizes every single topic, and then you can go through each one and click it, and it just makes everything more efficient for learning, for your productivity. So I love AI. I don't think AI is a threat or a miracle. I just think it's a tool. And like the internet was in the beginning, and how you use it matters more than whether it exists. So my advice to you is, if you're not using AI, you should use AI. Agents, you should be using AI. It's the thing of the now. You have to adapt to it. It's just going to get more difficult if you don't start learning it little by little. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. There's a lot of apps out there that you can use for literally every single little thing, but just learning what apps suit you the best to make your life easier, to avoid burnout, and just to make you more productive overall as a business owner, as an agent, and even as a buyer or seller. So that's all I have for today. If you guys have any questions, I'm always here to help. If you guys want to have a little discussion on AI or any of the things that I talked about, let me know. Danae Marquez, designated broker at Home Pros Advantage, and I'll see you next time.